Good afternoon, I'm Ursula and I'm one of the instructors with Mid-Lengths SCUBA Club. So I thought today we might take a look at some of the basic scuba equipment. As you know, SCUBA stands for Self-Contained Underwater Breathing Apparatus. Simple as that. So we have some things here that you absolutely have to have or you're not going to be able to breathe underwater. A cylinder, which contains the breathing gas, and no, it's not oxygen. A regulator, these are the tubes that you actually breathe through, and what we call a BCD, or buoyancy control device. This helps you find your proper position in the water and also gives you floating support when you're on the surface. First things first, this is a cylinder. Okay, it's not a tank, it's a cylinder. And on this, you can see at the top a connector where we attach the regulator, handle to turn it on and off, and also some markings. What are these about? Well, the fact that it's got black and white alternating shoulders means that this is an air cylinder. These are standard scuba cylinders, although you can get those with other markings, which means different gases are being used. What you can see on the shoulder here, the blue label indicates when the cylinder should next be tested. So there's either full or visual, and this one's due to be tested in December 2025 for a full inspection. The next object here is a set of regulators. The black one, or the one with the black mouthpiece, is the one which you would normally breathe from. The one with the yellow hose and yellow mouthpiece is what we call an octopus or alternate air source. This is in case of emergency for your buddy to breathe with. Also on here you'll see we have a gauge, and the gauge tells us two things: the depth that we are at underwater and the amount of gas that there is in the cylinder, so that we don't run out at any point. There are two additional hoses. In the UK, one of these for a dry suit. You may not have these if you're doing tropical diving, and the other one connects to the BCD to allow it to inflate and deflate. The final basic piece of equipment is what we call a BCD. Essentially, it has inflatable bladders on it, which you can put air or whatever gas you're using into through this inflate deflate. It has clips which tighten it to your body, and there are pockets to put your weights in to help you get your buoyancy correct underwater. On the back you can see where the cylinder would normally fit. Okay then, let's put this stuff together. You'll hold the cylinder between your feet and knees to make sure it doesn't fall over. Partially because it could explode if it does, and also because you don't want to damage it in any way if you're going to use it. I have a handle on mine, so I'm always hold of it. And you take your BCD, slide the strap on the back over the cylinder, get it to the correct height and snap that shut. This little secondary strap at the top, just in case that comes open, will stop the cylinder falling completely away. Next you take your regulator. This one has what we call an A-clamp, a hole that simply fits on to the cylinder and gets screwed finger tight. That's your dry suit hose, that's your regulator. For those who are learning, your regulator, the black one, goes on the right, so regulator on the right. This must of course mean that your other hoses are on the left. This one goes to your inflate deflate hose. If you look at this, you can see you pull back on the ring before pushing it onto the hose. My octopus fits on a clip here, so it's out of the way. These are my gauges. Again, they go onto a clip, so they're not dangling down at any point. To test whether there's enough gas in your BCD, always put the gauges face down. That, if you will, is the weak point in the system. So I've put my foot over it, so if there's any problem, the glass breaks, it's going to go into the ground, not into me, not into anyone passing by. Gently turn the gas on, and I can see the air filling the system. So what I'll do now is I'll check the gauge to see how much gas there is. 120 bar, that's 120 times atmospheric pressure. Plenty enough. I'm going to test pressing this button, the purge button, to see if the gas smells good. I don't put that into my mouth as that's my buddy's lifeline and I don't want them to catch anything. This is a post-COVID development. What I need to do now is check this one to make sure it tastes good. If it tastes like a car exhaust or oily or anything like that, you must take it back to wherever you got the air fill and ask them to check it for you. It's dangerous, obviously, to breathe gases that don't taste correct. You'll notice I'm also looking at the gauge to make sure that the needle doesn't go up and down. What this tells me is that the gas is fully turned on and the cylinder is ready to use. So, hopefully that's been helpful. Watch it a few times. If you need to practice, please practice, and hopefully see you on the next video.